lot of your feelings. Yo, it just came back and your ass is getting a little bigger. Girl, for that little nigga. Girl, for that little nigga. Cause you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it.
So playing that song is a song that he made because of domestic violence. I want to welcome everybody coming in. And the question is, what do men do when they are not believed in DV situations? As a mother and a father or a sibling, or you have a friend, what do you do when you see domestic violence or you see signs of violence towards that male? And why is it that authorities, this is what authorities say, but you a man, what do you do? And this is an open question. I ask everyone to, because this domestic violence is something that I work on, being that I lost my son to DV. He passed away from those injuries, and I'm not clout chasing on that. I would never make something up that my son is still living and he is not here. Yeah.
Did she do that to him on purposely, or was it like just an accidental car wreck? What was it?
She was, oh goodness. They had got off of work. They worked together at General Motors, right?
Right.
And when they worked together, he decided he met this young lady. He had went to the motherland. He went to Mecca. And there's a picture that is on my old page, Carmen Printy, that I could see the change in him when he came back from Mecca. He had remember when I said we were Palestinian descendants, he has a red Hindu dot that my dad's folks had took him on. So he was driving it. He wasn't driving, she was driving. And I knew my son was going to move different. So, as a mother, you tell your children to move different. Listen, y'all, I got boys. I favor my sons more than I do my daughters. Right. And I say that he was coming, his biggest mistake. And I said, whatever you do, don't do it in the car. I don't know why. She just seemed like it was just, you had to be around in a safe place to do it, because she gonna act up. She's very quiet, but I saw things that I knew that she was driving. And she said, if I can't have you, nobody gonna have you. And my son, she drove, and the way that the report is that she drove into a truck and they hit a rail. That's how he got 2 broken wrists, broken pelvis.
So she did that on purpose.
Yes, and it was purpose. And you're right, Marcy. And y'all want to know something? I only talk to this girl on the phone. My children, I have a rule. If that ain't who you gonna marry, don't be bringing everybody in my face.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'd be saying.
And I've always talked to her on the phone, but she was problematic. So my son, after he got back from Mecca, he went in, he saw some medicine. I remember this like it was yesterday. And he called me and he was like, Mama, what is this? I said, that's a problem. And she was already upset that my son had a vasectomy, because my son did not want any children. Y'all hear me out. My boys don't have children out of wedlock.
Right.
So my son did not want to be in a situation where he could not be there permanently for his children. He was 40 years old, never had been married. And I was on him. I said, okay, now you getting 40 years old. I want me a grandbaby. I put the pressure on him. So he had met Abby. Abby was a doctor who stays in California. I still talk to Abby. Nobody knew about Abby but me. And Abby had came to Michigan, and he asked her to marry. Now, around New Year's, I'm not July the 4th was the accident. And he lived up until July the 30th. He left July the 30th. So I thought Croy was coming home. Croy never came home. He never came home. And there were several police records were they arguing? Yes, because they had just got, he was ending it. He was saying, you got to leave, because he had a condo. And he was telling her that how long does she need to leave, because he was being amicable. He was, he was being mature. Because believe it or not, y'all, I cut up a fool on here, but I know how to cool them up. I could be in the same house with my enemy, and you wouldn't even know I'm mad.
I know, that's how I am.
But I ain't talking to you, though. You ain't getting a word.
That's how you learn about them.
I ain't saying not one word to you. Don't speak to me, and I ain't speaking to you. That's why I don't wear people. I'm not so emotionally attached to people that I will be just distraught. Because I know people switch up on you. I know that people change on you. But one thing I do know is Yahweh has never, ever changed on me. Now, man will always disappoint Carmen. Man gonna always, but God ain't never gonna let you have a hidden agenda on me. He is a revealer of, when I say he's a lamp to my footsteps, he be letting me know ahead of time.
Yeah, yep.
So when Croy did that, I talked to Croy. I was at the hospital. That's why it's funny to me that this Belinda would say what she said. I was there at the hospital. He was breathing. He wasn't. He was up, and he was talking about coming home. But also there was an investigation that was going on, and charges were going to be brought. Now after Croy passed, that's when the rubber met the road.
Yeah.
They wanted to do a conviction. She was facing 25. I don't want her. I know my son loved her. I didn't want her to do no 25 years. Now she's doing time. She gonna do some time, but not the way how the world judges. I'm not finna do that. I'm not going to do that. What good is it going? What's the resolution for me?
Right.
There will be
to go by what the law says.
So and they asked me, and I asked them to be very merciful for her. She's on psych meds. It's just a lot of things. That wasn't the first. Listen, that wasn't the first accident, y'all.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first time. And let me tell you something. My son, I was angry. My son didn't tell me. I learned this when he told me. He said, "Mama, this ain't the first." And let me tell y'all something, how good God is. My son was so spiritual that he called our pastor and told our pastor. That's how the charges was brought on her, because my son told what happened. But can you imagine, my son wasn't gonna say nothing, y'all?
Because they normally don't.
Why is it that men don't? Can I get y'all to talk a little bit? Why men don't say anything?
Because society's gonna make them feel embarrassed. I mean, if a man, if any man really tries to show any form of emotion or anything like that, they're not, I don't know. From what I've seen, obviously I'm not a man, so I don't know, but from what I've seen, a lot of it is embarrassment and a feeling of shame, of guilt, I mean, that's what I would think. How about you, Sarah?
I think a lot of it because they're thinking they're not going to be believed. They're not going to believe them.
Yeah. Well, look at the Johnny Depp situation.
Talking about my woman's beating me up.
Well, you look at that Johnny Depp situation. Yep. Perfect example. Here she was screaming abuse, and then it turns out she was the abuser.
Yep.
And it's just sad because he paid the price.
And that's funny because he never touched her.
Exactly.
It was always her abusing him.
Yeah. But yeah, men unfortunately do not speak up as much as they should and need to.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still here. I'm just clearing out my mods. So I wanted y'all, anybody, there is a few people in here, and I know that it's late. It's in the midnight hour. So I'm asking this question to the 9 people that are in this live. What would you do if you saw DV happening to a man or a brother or a father or uncle or cousin? How would you handle that? Hey, Pew 70, how would you handle that? What advice would you give? Would you believe them? And why is it that this is the first question people ask? What did you do? So it's open forum. Anybody's able to come up.
Yep.
But go ahead. You 2 ladies got the floor while I'm cleaning out the cleaning house.
But yeah, no, Sarah, I think that's absolute definite that they feel that they're not going to be believed. It's just, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart that nobody can be believed, no matter the gender.